This decision spurs so many questions now with Roe v. Wade no longer the official law of the land. Several states are ready to enact abortion bans of some sort.
Georgia included, as we mentioned, a new restrictive state law has been held up in court awaiting this day. The decision now is in the balance. Hope Ford explains what happens next.
For decades, abortion's been legal in America, but over time, several states, like Georgia, tried to restrict or pass total bans. Those were always challenged in courts because there was Roe. Now, everything is about to change.
We're just going to be in such a new zone that we haven't seen since 1973.
In 2019, Governor Brian Kemp signed what is known as the Heartbeat Bill, which bans abortions after 6 weeks, except in certain situations. The law was immediately challenged and is tied up in the court system. But now,
the courts will allow Georgia to enforce its law banning abortion at 6 weeks.
Georgia State Associate Professor of Law Anthony Michael Christ believes this could happen in a matter of days, and with it, lots of legal consequences.
Once cardiac cellular activity is detected, Georgia law will then deem that fetus a person. If a woman or a doctor performs an abortion that's not consistent with Georgia law, will that then actually be tantamount to murder? Because now we're dealing with a person.
And then there's the gray area.
If a woman has a pregnancy, that perhaps doesn't go well, and she miscarries, will that then open her up to an investigation for some kind of neglect or abuse? Because now that is deemed a person under Georgia law.
The fight will not only take place in clinics, hospitals, and doctors' offices. It's also going to take place right here, under the Gold Dome.
Republicans and conservatives and Governor Kemp might very well want that battle in the sense that it can energize the base and it can drive voters out, which in a very tight and competitive election is important. However, it could also run the risk of alienating particularly suburban voters or suburban women, and that's a key demographic that Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp are going to be fighting over.
Christ foresees the midterm elections accelerating this debate, not only for governor, but Senate and judicial races as well. And courtrooms will be another battleground.
There will be some challenges inevitably going forward.
Christ thinks some people could sue Georgia for a constitutional claim, since Georgia's constitution has a strong right to privacy protection. But with the Supreme Court overturning Roe, it's unclear what most lawsuits might look like.
We're in a completely new zone as a matter of constitutional law. But I think for the most part, the courts are more likely to brush those challenges away than they are to entertain them.
And why is that?
The Supreme Court, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals here, the state court system is a fairly conservative series of systems and conservative courts. So you're not really going to have the most sympathetic audience in terms of challenging restrictive abortion law in Georgia.
The certainty now almost completely lies with abortion being banned in Georgia after 6 weeks. The uncertainty lies in everything else.
I think we're in for a pretty rough few weeks and months and years on this issue and related issues in terms of legislation and litigation that will follow.
Hope Ford reporting for us. Georgia's law does not outright ban travel to other states where abortion remains legal. And Christ says if the law were changed to include that ban, it would open up more debates about the constitutional right of travel.